Good morning, guys. Happy Monday. We're doing things a little different today. Going to do the Bitcoin update separate from altcoins. So if you are looking for altcoins, CVO did cover those earlier this morning. That video is already up. And if there's videos or an altcoin you want to see in a video, just leave a comment on that video for him so he knows to cover it in the next one. See, we've got a few people in the chat already. So good morning, guys. Thanks for turning up on a holiday Monday. But not a lot to talk about today. Some similar levels, but we are going to get into it, talk about some invalidations on the local time frames, just so that we know where we're looking to trade at and where we're interested in price. So we'll just hop right into it. Max, you got anything to add before I turn on the charts?
No, quite cold, mate.
Awesome. Very similar levels we've been talking about, guys. So these are just some, pivots that we'd identified coming out of this region once generated. And now we're just looking at them to serve as support and resistance locally inside this range. You could go ahead and turn on like a volume profile as well if you wanted the more condensed version inside that standard deviation. So what you're going to notice is 21,296. That is kind of what I call the breaker level, the daily swing failure pattern from previous price action. We'll go ahead and get rid of this and just kind of highlight that real quick. For those that don't know what I'm talking about, it is from this section of price right here. You can see this took the highs right here and then closed beneath it by about $1. So I am still looking at that area as a meaningful area for now. And you can see we've been rejecting from it. Technically, we've taken the highs here. Somebody was saying we didn't take it on USDT, I think on other exchanges. I don't really look at that stuff too much. So if you guys are into that, and that helps you, feel free to use that. But for me, it doesn't matter too much. I was really hoping to take this local high yesterday, but you don't always get what you want. And so in reality, what you'd be looking at is we have a gap, obviously, right? Our gap closes at 19,807 according to the CME butane calculator, basically letting us know where price closed. And it is, I believe, is it a holiday today or not? Because I think somebody said CME was actually running. But regardless, if this gap is to fill, it's coming down into our weekly pivots, and you have a local gold pocket here as well. If you just turn on like a higher time frame, you can see this is your most local low here before the final impulse on this high to low, gold pocket. You have the patented caveman bi-weekly pivot there as well. And to me, that is the area you want to hold on to. And main reason being is if you were to zoom out and combine all the ranges, this is also going to be your point of control, right? So if we look at the range real quick here, if I can find it, I've been going through my folders and deleting a lot of things. So I don't think I've deleted anything too meaningful just yet, but you never know. And we'll make sure this is going to, yeah, it's going to extend to the right. Perfect. And there we go. Perfect. So you can see your point of control comes in here right around that 20K mark volume-wise, and that now lines up with ATAS, which is nice. So should we wick beneath this level, that's fine. However, if you start closing below this $20,000 mark and putting pressure through this level, I think you get that greater retracement everyone's looking for down in like the 18. Well, I wouldn't overlook 19,150, but anything living below this doesn't look great to me. I would expect to see this, 18,006 to 500 level, maybe even as low as these prior quarter 2 and 3 lows right here at 17,567 to 18,090. So it would be that opportunity everybody says that they want to get back in. However, I'm not too much of a fan of coming all the way back down to these lows. And I've made that kind of known that I would really rather hold on to this 20K zone with wicks beneath it to 19.6. I think that's not out of the question by any means. So you do want to see this zone right here holding as support, in my opinion. If we lose this, I'm not saying that you can't take a long from this region. I think you'll get the bounce. The question is, will the bounce result in a new high? And I don't know that it will. So, that would be a cautionary long for me. However, if you start losing this, you run the potential of maybe making a new low, because when you look at this trend, there aren't really any great swing fails here that just kind of, say, all right, this is a strong trend. These lows have been, swept. You're really just building up stops, and things do get out of hand when you build up stops like that. We've mentioned it before. I've talked about this actually on this move, both on Sin City and in our live streams, where when you're building up stops like this, you got to think people are probably moving them up with the trend. Every little trend right here is basically a new stop loss. So if these start getting hit, things can get out of hand pretty quickly to the downside, because you go up fast, you come down fast, right? Just like right here. Go down fast. What do? Consolidate, go up very fast. So to me, it's important that this trend continues in the short term, meaning like within this week. I would like to see the trend continue. If we chop around and form a larger range here, that's okay, as long as we're hanging on to this zone in the chart, in my opinion. So if you can do that, or if you can just break the highs here, I really see no reason why you wouldn't be targeting the local high up here. I believe that is the September high, if I recall. I think it's like 22,810. We'll get it lined up here. I would be targeting this September high here. Yeah, 22,810. And then you have the value area high coming in around like 23,000 and some change. So between 22,800 and 23, low 23,000s would be the next area of interest. And the reason we say that is because you've re-entered the range. Even though you have the potential for this, bearish drawdown, you're still living above the major things in the range you need to see, which is your point of control. Your TPO point of control is down here at 19,150. You can see that's a nice high volume node that almost mirrors this one here. So really important section of price. And you're above all those things. So as long as we are holding above those things and consolidating, we're looking for the range to rotate because we've deviated it from the downside. So the range rotation is still the play. It doesn't mean you shouldn't lock in profits here, and you shouldn't be patient. You need to be patient for a good opportunity like a quick move down into this region, because just YOLOing leverage up here is not a good idea, in my opinion. There's a lot of people that are putting themselves out there. I saw a tweet just today. I'm not going to name the guy, but he did say, I'm balls to the wall long with leverage. And I don't think he was kidding. So not what you want to see, but everyone's looking at this price action as this right here. And that very well could be, which would imply continuation over time, higher lows, right? However, if it doesn't end up that way, you do need to be ready for something like this, where you've gotten this really big impulsive move after a drop and up, and then it just starts rolling over. So like I said, I'd rather see it get going sooner rather than later. And if it does, I think those targets to the upside are still valid. And then, 23,000 to me probably isn't the end of it. I think that if you do that, obviously you still have a range here to trade. However, I'm looking all the way up to the 12M1 that was produced this year, the new yearly pivot, and that is 26,724. That is the area that I'm really interested in. And I know I've got it in a folder here. There we go. Right here. We are untapped at 26,724. This would be the area of interest. You could literally just box off the local low if you wanted to, all the way up to here, and you could just say, this is my area of interest. And this would be a really important region if reached. So for now, I think you have that pullback, potentially the gap fill. I think that should serve a bounce. We'll see what kind of bounce we get out of it. And that's the big opportunity for me, is being patient and waiting if we're looking for an additional long trade at these important supports. And knowing that if we do lose this area, the drawdown's probably going to be decent. I would say to a minimum, I would look for 18,375. Unless 19,150 is that support that we're waiting for, but I'd be looking down, to the range low at that point. So that's really all I've got. Others, I'm going to go in circles here, make sure there are no questions in the chat. Yep, turn that off. That way you guys don't hear the reverb. Max, you got anything to add?
Sorry, I was just taking a trade. Apologies.
I got a couple good ones over the weekend. I didn't get one this morning. Well, I did. I got a short, but I closed it a little early. Just took the profits and got out.
Hang on, let me just go and set TP. I actually got quite a good entry. I could literally take profits here. Where's the pivot at? Sorry, bear with me, guys.
That's all right.
Oh, it's just tapped it. Fuck, I didn't get it in time. We go again. Go on, do it again.
Yeah, you can tell them about your trade when you're done.
Go on.
And why you took it.
Hit TP1 then when I hit TP1, I'll move my stop loss to entry, and then we'll crack on. Oh, I could just mark it out of my TP. Right, I'll leave it anyway. It's running. Okay, so let me get my screen up.
No, we want to see your face.
Just the face. That's all you're getting. No charts, just face. Okay, so weekend has actually been very decent for trading. You've had many trading opportunities throughout it. But the thing that I want to go over initially is do a bit of LRA. So LRA is locked in range analysis. You can't just do it on TradingView. You need a TLDR, which is another form of, it's like another version of TradingView. It's a bit more complex, however. Oh, there we go. Sweet. Okay, bear with me 1 second. I'm just going to move my stop loss to entry. Mashallah. It's a good day. It's a good day. Okay, so for all the guys that are in the live trading session, there you are. We got it finally. But yeah, the the weekend's been good for trading. But LRA, let's do that first. Let's do one bit at a time. So what you can do with LRA is you look at this as a range, and you use tools that you can't really get on TradingView, and you try and identify, what positions are building up here compared to try and get an idea of where price is going to go next. So looking at this, drew that a bit high, but looking at this as a range, and then what we're doing is we're coming into the open interest, coming into the CVD, which is cumulative volume delta, which is all the market orders, so the aggressive orders that are coming into the market. We can see overall in this range, and I'm cutting out the initial rise here, the initial candles into it, purely because that's strictly positions getting taken out. It's not really relevant to LRA. This is going right into the daily open. This is very nice. But anyway, so looking at the delta being down, and then we can also look at the open interest. So if we go from where we set, let's line up the crosshairs down here. Where we go. So there you go. So you can see CVD overall is down, which means there is more market shorts coming into this current little range we're in. And with the open interest increasing, it shows that those market shorts or market sells, it's largely positions opening up, which tells us that there's more shorts coming into the market. Now, it's not a bad thing. This is an area where you think, okay, there's more shorts coming in, these stupid ass shorts. You'd rather it be shorts than longs entering in this price to kind of give you some hope in humanity. But with that being said, it leaves us with a predicament, because using order flow, we can kind of think, okay, in this range, if we've got more aggressive shorts coming in, are they doing a good job at taking the price down? Looking at this range, no, Dan, it's missed you. Told you where to buy, my man. But in this range, are they doing a good job at taking price down? No is the answer. It's largely somewhat bullish. I say that. We're not taking out the lows really, and we've just kind of going a bit higher as we go. So it's not a bearish little interaction, market structure inside this range. And the fact we've got shorts entering, it shows us that they're doing a poor job of doing it. So what can you do with this information? Well, you can look to take them out. Where can you take them out? Well, you look for the stop of the, you look at the top of the range. You look for the highs. Now, this morning, we actually failed to take the highs. We got an SFP, which is great, but you failed to take the highs. So the fact that we've not taken those highs yet and we've come back down, all that means is there's more shorts entering from here, building up the liquidity above this area. So we've got two options when we come up here. Price can come up and we get a swing failure pattern, which is a trade for us that we can all take. Swing failure pattern, easy enough, trading sell, and that's kind of what I expect to occur. Or the second thing is we initially get a very large wick, goes through. Now the difference will be if we come back down and back test, well, that gives you an entry to then take it to the next high, which Magic just mentioned. But if we don't get that back test and we then come back into the range, well, then it's still a swing failure pattern. So they're the two setups that are offered from the top of the range. But today I'm going to skim over the weekend price action. But you had this wick late last night. Well, for me, for about midday for a lot of the Americans in here. It was late last night for me. You had this wick down. You took out all these stop losses from the current session and some of the session before. However, you did not take them all. And if we are looking at this as a range and you mark out the range lows, they are yet to be taken. So anyone that's buying in this area here, had they put their stop loss here, they're still in the market. Their liquidity is still there. And the fact that we've had this rise and we're getting this open interest increases, what you have to think looking at this price action is, where are the people putting their stop losses? That's what I love to trade. I love to trade against people's stop losses. I have to think where they are, and then you trade against them. So if they're putting their stop losses down here, it gives you a setup down here. You've got a setup down here thinking, okay, if we come down, take out all the liquidity from this area, and then you can play it to the upside. But obviously vice versa to the downside. If you come up here and you tap the liquidity, you've then got a trade to take you to the downside. They're the two trades that I'm really looking at right now on for me, a higher term time frame. I know they're very intraday, or they can be very intraday, but they're the kind of two only trades, the big trades that I'm really looking for. Trades that you've had today that have been super sweet. You had a banging SFP this morning. You actually had two. I missed this one because we were, live, and I just didn't take it. It was too early in the morning. But then got this one a bit later in the day. You can see here, had a load of shorts aggressively entering, and then you came back up, took them out as they would have put their stop losses above here. You got a very pretty nice volume on that. Granted, wouldn't have taken them all out. But it was a nice SFP to take. You initially had a very big wick up, and then the candle closed and you got that selling imbalance towards the lows. There's your entry trigger. Candle closed down there. Enter. Short. Stop loss goes above the high. And I'm loving this current price action because you really don't have to wait to, for price to move in the direction of the trades, which the past 2 months has just absolutely killed me, having to sit in a trade for hours. But this stuff is just so quick. It really is a beauty to trade right now. So I'm really loving it. But yeah, what we had in the live trading session that we just had, I gave 2 areas for the guys. I gave 2 initial areas to look for trades. And one was down here. We drew a box here. And then we also had one of this area here. And I did say I was going to do it, but considering one's already paid off, might as well hand it out. Looking for this to be either the final TP or of this trade, or a possible resistance. Reason being is the lows are here. You've got a gold pocket just above here, actually. The VWAPs there, you've got a few things here. Well, this trade was real nice. So let's go over this one. You can kind of spot in the initial build up here, there was a load of buyers coming into the market. And with that being said, where are these buyers going to be putting their stop loss? And yes, they were doing a good job at taking the price higher, but they were failing, if I pop on the marked, to take you open. So you're just rejecting, bouncing head on the day open, failing to get above it. And with those buyers that have entered, the fact that they're failing to, take you above that price action, price level, it is kind of telling. If you're getting a strong move into a level, but then it keeps hitting its head and not breaking it, well, you can kind of expect it to then come down and take out those buyers that have gone into the bought into the level. You can expect a move to take them out to then go and break through the level. It's just, it's the way it goes. It is quite comical if you think about it. But yeah, the trade was looked to take that low. Now, I actually did get in initially we had quite a quick wick down. And then it came straight back up. I actually did get in on that one. But as you can see, it came down very large volume spike, 29 million. We said you'd get something like that. And you can also see here you had some positions changing hands. You can tell because the open interest is only a negative 4.8 million, yet the delta is a negative 9.5. And then in the next candle, had you have missed it, you were getting more buying imbalances. You were getting buying imbalances, open interest increasing, positive delta. You just got to, there comes a point when it comes into your level and you're thinking, okay, it's coming to my level. I'm now seeing what I want in the reaction, take the trade. And that's what you've got to do. You've got to take the trade. And you've had, you've got your big wick, which we mentioned is one thing to look out for. To John, if he's in the group, I mentioned this, you'd look for the wick. You got the wick, you got your buying imbalances. You have to think, how many of these triggers do I want to see before I pull the trigger? You had many here. You had many reasons to take this long. Stop loss goes above the down below, but it's already hit multiple TPs now. Well, I need to go and set my second TP. Hit the first one. which was the pivot. But at this point, you can't take the trade from there. Now, what you can do, looking at this, is if we are getting if it holds the day open now, you can potentially take a long from the daily open, and the issue you've got is where do you put your stop loss. If you put it down here, any risk to reward that you think you're going to have is gone. If you put it just below, you might just get wigged out. So it is a very subpar trade, but you can take that trade it to the VWAP. It's $100 worth of price action in this current market. It's so much more than what we've had recently. But yeah, really right now, what I'm expecting is to come a little bit higher. I'd expect the previous day high and this line, these lows to get tapped, and then really have to analyze from there. But yeah, it's been a decent day for trading. I enjoyed it, but yeah, I'm pretty much done, Magic. Not really got much else to say.
Yeah, no, that's good though. Some good trades. I almost forgot that you were live this morning doing the live trading session, even though I was thinking for some reason with the markets closed, you weren't going to be, but yeah, no, that's good stuff. Yeah, no, I mean, it's just a range right now. And I kind of agree with you. Like I said, I closed my short early because I wasn't going to sit around and manage it. It was a good trade, mainly because I don't know which one we're going to take first, whether it's the highs or the lows, as we're range bound, as you were saying. I would like to take the lows eventually and get into that like 19.7, 19.8 region. But I'd like to take the highs as well, kind of like you were saying. And the fact that we didn't last night was that rubbed me the wrong way because I was waiting.
But we didn't take the highs or the lows. It was all last night. We didn't take the highs or the lows. So, you've still got those two valid setups. Now, what we can expect is if we take one of the areas, if we do get a solid setup, say it be the short, if that is the next trade that we get, probabilities go up way more that not only does it go down to the lows, but they then blast through it. Normally what you get is, you fake out one side, then you go to the other and blast through. Typically that's what you get. So
that's kind of what I was thinking. If we take the highs and get a good reaction, like an actual SFP, we should expect to take the lows. That's going to make a banging trade if we get it, and vice versa. If we get the lows first, it's a really good trade to run it back all the way through the highs if the reaction's favorable. And that's the thing. That's kind of what I'm looking for.
There's just nothing like we went over in the live trading session what resistances you've got above you before you get to those highs. You've just got nothing though. There is literally simply nothing there.
I think there's some at 21.8, but that's such a stretch. That's another $400 above price. I think if you go that high, the odds of you SFPing 21, 4 is probably not.
I mean, the next naked point of control on a daily time frame. That's the only one we've got. We've not got weekly, monthly, anything there. The next
like
daily.
24?
No, the next daily is at 22,800.
Okay,
so,
yeah, that's that next local high.
From the high, it's another $1,300. Yeah. Oh, sorry, 23.4. Sorry, 23.4. You are right. 23.4.
I guilted Billy into getting a personal trainer. Oh, Billy. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. I've had a personal trainer in the past. Like it definitely helps. So, but I did start the water fast, Sean. It's going where this will be glass number 5 when it's all said and done. So we'll be 5 glasses of water and 40 ounces. I don't know what that is in liters. So sorry, Max, you're out of the conversation there. But yeah, no, I agree. I mean, so hopefully you guys are tracking what we're saying. If you're looking for the next really big trade, in my opinion, it's either going to come from above the high here or just beneath the lows into that pocket we've been talking about. And it doesn't mean you can't trade the range in between. That's what Max is doing right now. But at some point, stop losses are going to get hit, and we're going to find out if the move's got legs to the upside or it's going to have legs to the downside, right? So that's kind of what I'm waiting on. I have taken a few intraday trades, just like Max. It's one of those things where it's hard not to when this is what you do. And the price action has been good. The levels have been really, really nice.
The fact it's moving hundreds of dollars now, rather than it being, this is how you take a $60 trade over 4 hours.
I wasn't even getting my $69 TP, man. I was getting like $50 TPs, $44 TPs. Like
now
it was
it's
just
moving
ridiculous.
Hundreds.
Yeah, I'm enjoying that. I've got to get in shape, try to maximize. So I try to go to Subway. Footlong meatball sub. There you go. You guys are talking about food, man. I got like 3 days before I'm gonna be able to eat. Let's keep that to a minimum.
Are you doing a fast?
Yeah, I'm doing a water fast. I've been on like just absolute cheat meal mode since the holidays, and I haven't gained much weight, but I need to get the diet back in check.
Well,
So
I just had a Mr. Beast burger and fries.
you had a
And they,
Mr. Beast burger. Do they have those out there already? Is
yeah,
it good?
mate, banging. Unreal. They're so good. Probably one of the best burgers I've ever had.
Interesting.
Yeah, definitely check them out.
All right, guys. Well, I don't have anything else to really cover because altcoins got covered by CVO earlier. That stream is already up, and we're trying to keep these to 15 to 20 minutes. I know we're already at 25 here. There's 29 of you in here, which I certainly appreciate. But we want to keep the content kind of like more strict and form fitting in terms of like what we're covering and the time kind of down, because it seems like that's been the feedback we're getting is people don't want to watch an hour and a half long live stream. If it's TA, they want something between 10 and 20 minutes. If there is an altcoin that you guys want covered on the next live stream, like tomorrow morning, leave it in the comments either on this video or CVO's. And obviously he's going to see both of them anyway. Hit the like button, yes. But he went over some alts this morning. I believe his update was 12 to 13 minutes long, so it's pretty short and sweet. If there's something you want to see, like I said, comment, and he's pretty good about getting to that. Or hop into the Discord. There should be a link in the box on the video, and you can always, even in the general public area, just, hey, would you take a look at this coin? We'll gladly do so. And that's really all I've got. We're still running a half off thing for our academy on learning order flow and how we set up our charts and how we trade. It does get you access to the Discord as well. So that is at leadingcrypto.io. The code is BTC22. It's half off your first month. Gets you full access to everything, so you can enjoy that. So if you're interested, the link is below as well. Otherwise, guys, I'm going to hop off here. I'll be around in the Discord. Hope to see you in there. And you guys have a great day.